This is Bruce inside the cab of an F unit. To get moving, we put the reverser into forward, release the locomotive brakes, a little bit of throttle, take up the slack, and as we start to move, we just bring it back a little bit, keeping an eye on the speed on the dial on the left. And as we're cruising along, we can just pan around the cab, look out the left window, the observer's fallen out, look out the front, check out the operation of a couple of switches, see if there's any sheep in that paddock, prepare to stop by bringing the throttle back to zero, apply the dynamic brakes, then the locomotive brakes, and the train comes gently to a halt. And as Rob would say,
and that's all there is to it. Here's how easy it is to make a bridge. First, choose the style of bridge that you want to build, and then draw it between elevated areas. Tracks connect easily to them. You can draw tracks from the bridge or draw them to the bridge. And you can transform the gradient and the lie of the land to meet the elevation of the track. With the terrain tools, you can lower the valley a little deeper and add water and environmental textures until you're happy with the scene. And finally, we'll just add some trees to finish it off. And that's all there is to it.
The camera system is found in the Tools menu. Simply select the camera icon, click on the map in the area that you want the camera to be in, move it into position, and there it is. Here we see a place tracking camera in position. When a train comes within a certain distance, the view automatically changes to track the train going past. See how the camera pans, automatically tracking the train centered in the view. You can place as many of these cameras in your map as you wish to create stunning viewing effects.
This movie demonstrates how splines are used in the surveyor module of Trainz. Splines are used to create flexible linear objects such as roads, power lines, fences, and even trees. A list of spline objects are available from the menu system. You can see that we have laid some road and power lines on this map. These objects can be edited in the same way tracks are. Cars are automatically placed on the roads as they are laid. You may even recognise that van. Then simply add additional scenery objects and there you have it.
Hello and welcome to Trainz. Here today we're going to look at Surveyor and the Topology tools. We have height up, height down and height adjust. Now the first thing I'm going to play with here, you can see, is going to be painting height up. And using the left mouse button we're going to just drag a bit of paint deformation here on the terrain. You can see here the left mouse button is just performing a lift of the terrain. Now height down, as you can imagine, does the same thing but the other way. And the most interesting tool we have is height adjust. Now here, using the left mouse button will allow you to drag the terrain up and down, and using this in conjunction with our radius and sensitivity sliders, here I'm adjusting sensitivity, and you can see there it's very high sensitivity and it's dragging it very, very quickly. With a low value, you can see there, it allows fine-tuning of your topology. Going to look at plateauing now, which is another part of the topology tools. Plateau takes the current height and allows me to just flatten things out using that current height. It's very easy this way to make a ravine or some kind of creek or even a riverbed. And now for the paint panel. I'm going to use this little dialog here and select the texture, and the left mouse button's allowing me to just paint this on my terrain. I can use a little scale dial here on the right, and this allows us to control the resolution of the texture and how it behaves on the terrain. I can make it smaller and larger and get as much flexibility from the texture as possible. in conjunction with these other dials which control the direction of the texture and the size of the area that we're texturing, we can actually fine-tune and really do a bit of arty stuff on the world itself. You can see how the textures blend into each other. It's all made as easy as possible to allow you to be creative and make the scene an aesthetically pleasing place to be. You can actually carry on here and multi-layer as many textures as you like. I'm going to just fiddle here. No plan, I'm just going to try and make it look good. This brings out the artist in you, I guess. I'm just fiddling, and underneath the river it's much nicer if it's darker there. There you go.
Hi, this is Rob. This is how we make the tracks in Surveyor. Click where you want it to start and click where you want it to stop. We can make a turnout, or we can make a three-way turnout by connecting several pieces to the one node. A double slip point is made in much the same way, connecting pieces to the one spot. And by crossing the tracks, we automatically make a diamond crossing. Using the Move tool, you can bend and stretch the tracks around until you're happy with the shape of them. And you can complete the scene by painting textures underneath the tracks. And that's all there is to it. Here's a bit more about track laying. Pieces can be laid across mountains that you've created, and then you can flatten them to their original height easily. We can apply gradients to them and move the land to meet the new elevation of track. To apply a gradient, simply lay some pieces of track down. Select the desired severity and apply the gradients by clicking on sections of track. We can then raise the land to meet the height of the track with a special spline tool. And that's all there is to it. Now I'm going to show you a tunnel. Starting with a small hill, choose the style of tunnel you want and lay a section by drawing between 2 points of your choice. Use the terrain tools to sculpture the landforms around the tunnel until you're happy with them. You can easily connect tracks to them. And in wireframe mode, you can edit the tunnel itself. Complete the scene with some textures, and that's all there is to them.
Okay, now we're going to have a look at our water features. We can paint them down using the Add Water feature, and with the left mouse button, it just places water sections down really easily. So here we go, it can indicate the height of the water there, and at any time you can just grab the water and just adjust it up and down. You can then just add to it, and you can see here I'm adding some more water sections. And again, just using the adjust height, I can just drag it up and down at any point. So there you have a really easy river, lake, or water feature of any sort.